in the back my
He
ass.
looked like
Oh
he
shit.
looked like he looked like he just got a new car. He just saw that shit get backed into by a big.
Camera.
Oh Lord. There we go.
Mm.
Hey y'all. Let me tell y'all. I'm really not gonna bore y'all with my story tonight, but as you can see, this is the B mix on the go tonight. Okay, so y'all just bear with me because we're family by now. I mean, y'all done heard me talk about many a thing, and we just gonna rock with it tonight. Okay. Yes, I'm just gonna answer for you. Yes. So good evening. Hello. Happy Thursday, happy Friday Eve, whatever you need it to be today. Happy, okay? Welcome back to another episode of the B Mix right here on BExposedRadio.com. Y'all already know what Thursday nights are for, right? You know, for us, the unseen, the unheard, the forgotten, whether it be the forgotten part of you, or if it's just for the person that just doesn't belong anywhere. Me. So let's get right into this, okay? Because okay, y'all do that with me because I needed to take one of those for tonight. Even though I thought I was calm and ready to start the show, I still needed one of those. So let's take another one. Okay, cool. Wait a minute. One more. One in 2, 3, 4, 5. Out 2, 3, 4, 5. Y'all feel better? Okay, I did because child. Okay. So last week, I'm gonna get into why I'm gonna just get into all of this, y'all. Y'all just again bear with me. So last week, right, we talked about being thankful. Last week, I posed a question and asked, when was the last time you said thank you? Right, just two simple words that mean so much. They speak volume on so many different levels. Oh, look at me knocking my camera. I might have to take. Let me give y'all some of that. Let me just give y'all some bare eye, bare face, no glasses, Benia. Okay, hey y'all, I'm back. So, because I was looking at my own reflection in my glasses. We were talking about being thankful. Okay, when was the last time you said thank you? Who did you say thank you to? What were you thankful for? So now I really want us to really delve into being truly being thankful. I'm gonna tell y'all why. I have no reason, even though right now my entire block, I probably, if I was to turn my phone around and put it out the window because I'm sitting in my car, and let y'all see, um, let y'all see that there is like no light in like nowhere near in sight. Whole time I had power. Like I had power, it literally ran out. Just spill it to y'all because y'all my good girlfriends at this point. Even the guys, y'all my good girlfriends. So get over it. We're family. Ciao. I runs out. My brother and sister-in-law going on vacation yesterday. And hey Sherry, love you. Child. Well, I runs out to run because it's my nieces and nephew. And so two of my nieces are the ones I've talked about before. Actually, I've probably talked about all of them, but y'all might remember them by them being my twin nieces that are, hey Jess. Girl, I tried to stay on your live as long as I could. I really was until I got in the house. I'm actually about to tell you how that happened. Until I got in the house and didn't have power. We'll get there. So, child, I runs out because like I said, they're going on vacation, and so my twin nieces. Oh, actually, all of them have their swimsuits. They were at my house, right? So I had to run them. I have been meaning to do that all week anyway. Sydney and I have not left out the house at all. Um, hence why I'm jumping through the story. I'm gonna get there. Okay. Remember, I said we haven't been out the house all week. So my sister-in-law called like, hey sis, I was, what time do you start your show? I just want to make sure. And this was like a couple hours ago. So I'm like, oh yeah, but you know what? I'll just run it out. It's fine. I needed to stop past my office anyway. Like, mind you, just some things that I'm like, these certain words are dropping heavy as I'm saying them, right? So I had to stop past my office, meaning that I am still gainfully employed. Amen. Not only am I like gainfully employed, but meaning that I'm still collecting, income. Okay. Okay. So thankful for that. In the midst of literally this dark storm. So dark time, dark place, dark space. Like the darkness y'all see right through that. I don't have tents like that. Like I got tents on my window, but baby, It's black out here. Black. Okay. So I get home, I do all of that. I go back and forth. Sydney's trying to decide. I didn't throw on her rain boots and her Elsa dress on her. Whatever. She walks around. I'll get there. How she walks around the house in a princess dress all day. Child throws things on her, gets out the door, pack up their stuff. And like I said, gets out the door. Realize like, oh shoot. Remember I said we ain't been out the house all week. Dang, I meant to get gas, but it's okay. I can run down, boom, run to their house. Sydney back and forth. She finally decides she wants to stay at Uncle Chuck's house. I guess. And play with her cousins. And I get to my office. Okay, cool. And I can get home in a good amount of time to prepare for my show. Like I was already prepared earlier. Seriously. I wasn't prepared, y'all. I wasn't prepared to come home to absolutely no power. Didn't even pay any mind when I pulled up. I think my whole block, or at least my side, whole block is out. That's why it is. So I'm now on the back of my house. Why am I in the back of my house? Parked out back of my backyard? Because I was like, oh yeah, let me pull around there because the block is hot. I don't, just my luck, right? No luck. But just all of that, me trying to do my show, it's gonna be a whole bunch going on. Just noise. I don't know. 5 police ambulance, I guess. Ain't that how they say it? 5 police ambulance. Love that song, by the way. I hope it gets stuck in somebody's head tonight. I do. And I get all, in here, okay, pull around. And so before I did that, my alarms are going off in my house, like a lot. So that was still while I was on Me to a Tease live tonight with talking about the Yanni Steams and hey Malika, love you. Like she was talking Yanni Steams and all that. So it's a good conversation, right? So I'm into that. At least that was something definitely keeping me distracted from all the craziness that was going on. And yet I'm still thankful. I'm so thankful. I'm thankful because so much more could be wrong. I could have had Sydney with me. Imagine, y'all. Parents, I want y'all to come on in. Parents, aunties, uncles, all godmoms, goddads, come on in. Usher into the atmosphere, okay, tonight, because we got some things to talk about these babies, okay? Like, especially my single parents, mom or dad, Lord the mercy, okay? But imagine a 3-year-old in here while I'm trying to do my show, right? So that could have been worse. She could have really decided, because I definitely encourage her own decisions. And she could have wanted to be with me. So at least, because originally that's what happened. I thought she wanted to get out of the car. She wanted to go in. Then she was like, realizing I was leaving. Then that was a thing. Like, it was just crazy. So that, it could have been worse. I don't know. I could have came home and my whole house could have literally, I always say this like a lot. Like when something's wrong with my car, first question I always ask, is my car about to blow up? So I could have came home to my house being blown up. Like for real. And like all jokes aside, because we know about the explosion that just happened, like just come on, like just life can just throw you. So let us really, like, as we inhale, okay, because we're gonna do it again. We're gonna take a breath together because I need it. As we inhale gratefulness, inhale a spirit of thanksgiving, and exhale all things that you could possibly complain about. Just exhale, right? Just let them out. So bring good intentions, or bring your intentions to mind as we go into this next deep breath before I move on. And make sure that anything that you could possibly complain about, anything that's not going right, not going well today or this week or upcoming, let it out. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thanksgiving, gratefulness. Out 2, 3, 4, 5. Complaints, anything going wrong. One more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thanksgiving, gratefulness. Out 2, 3, 4, 5. Complaints, anything that's going wrong. Last one, promise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thanksgiving and gratefulness and peace and serenity. Out 2, 3, 4, 5. Complaining and anything that could possibly go wrong. Okay. So y'all, I told y'all I needed that, okay? Because I was like running. Mind you, did I tell y'all the piece? I don't even think I got to this part, and then I'm gonna move on. Baby, when I got back here, I was finna, log on, really prepared to start the show. And I was like, oh shoot, again, I forgot I didn't have gas, y'all. So I was like, I gotta sit in the car with the car on. Like, it's a little hot and I can't sit with the windows down. not realizing again, because it was just getting dark, how dark it is right now, like pitch. I can see nothing ahead of me. It's a little scary, ain't going. But I'm not afraid. Thankful for that. See how that goes, y'all? See how that goes? We gotta recondition our mind, y'all. We have to. We really, 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 really have to. And so I back here, I realized I had some gas left in my gas tank at the like end of my yard for my like weed whacker or whatever that's called. And child, given I forgot that the nozzle broke or whatever, or that I don't know how to use it. But I was like, oh yeah, let me put some gas in here because I might have to sit in here for a good little minute. Like I gotta be able to make it and then go get my baby. Well, after I figure out all this light and stuff, child, I don't know. Moving on, things could have been much worse. Is all I'm saying. Like literally, at least I have like a gas tank. I mean, a gas can, right? Gas can to put my gas in just in case. So if I gotta pause in the middle of the show, and y'all go take a little snack break for me to put some gas in my car so that way I don't break down sitting still. Cause that would be me. That's my life, y'all. I am so serious. That's how it goes. And it's okay. Totally okay. So child, where y'all want to start? Y'all know where I want to start. Let's talk about Monday. Because all this is going to fall right into place. They all come together. Y'all know what's to be mixed. We mix it up here. Be the mix that you are. Okay. So y'all know I want to talk about the Monica and Brandy versus battle. Like, I got something to say. And guess what? It's not what everybody else is out here talking about. Why for Jesus? Why? Why, y'all? Y'all stressing me. I already don't have no eyebrows, and y'all making the 7 eyebrow hairs that I have pluck off one by one by the fact that y'all refuse to let something just be. Just be. Just be. So everything has to be. I get that it's called the versus battle, or really just I believe it goes by versus, but I think the full title, the full, claim of it is versus battle. I get it, right? But y'all ever heard of healthy competition? Like, hey, I'm great, you're great. We doing the same thing. I do it my way, you do it your way. Respect, respect. Okay, cool. Why does everything have to like I get and don't get. That's the thing. Like I get it because I'm very considerate. I'm an empath, yada 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 yada. But y'all killing me a little bit. Like I'm gonna stop saying that. We gonna get there. But child, I don't believe that there was a choice to be made between, Brandy's music, Brandy and her representation on Monday, or Monica and her music and her representation on Monday. I don't really think there was a choice to be made. What I observed and what I could not help but pay attention to was the mere fact of the difference of characteristics, the difference of personalities. Can we talk about that? Can we get into it? So I'm gonna speak my piece and I'm gonna go on. Now, what y'all can do, y'all can absolutely, as y'all like, share, comment, feel free to call in, text, all of that, and let me know what you think. But I'm gonna just keep spilling. I'm gonna tell y'all what I think, okay? Because it's right, but whatever. It's not even right because I'm being biased. It's actually right. Like it's what we should be paying attention to, right? Because y'all know I wasn't just gonna talk about that and then not tie it into everyday life, right? Okay, y'all knew that. Okay, cool. So here's the difference. What I got, and I'll be honest, I'm not gonna say don't gas me up ever, but it don't it don't help y'all that I talked a good length, right? Yesterday, about this, and I wasn't the only one that felt this way. So that's the good part about it. But even if I was, it's fine. I'm used to not fitting in. I'm used to, thinking differently. It's okay. Lonely world, but I ain't alone. Period. So difference of characteristics is the fact that for me, I get and got, even if we talk about just Monday night alone, because truthfully, what I realized even in my conversation yesterday, I didn't know a lot of like the background and the beef or the whatever that is like between Brandy and Mon. I didn't know that, right? But I also can't help but I'd be remiss not to mention that I always say or have said so many times that I don't like that if I can tell your stuff just by like meeting you or just one post. Like you can't wear your stuff so easily and so openly. You can be open and there's a difference. So that is why it is all about self-care. Okay. Always pushing for that. Um, it's so important because, you know, that's just what it is, right? Like self-care to get to a place of where you find the balance within yourself and you know how to, be open or be transparent, because I will get away from the word open because I refer to myself as an open book, to be transparent and even to be vulnerable. But it still doesn't mean like laying all your stuff out there, or you're better, you judge better. There we go. You make better judgment calls. That's the words I was looking for. You make better judgment calls as far as your audience, like who you bear all your stuff out to, whomever, yada yada yada, or when, whatever the case may be, right? And so, because I really believe that that's the issue for a lot of people. Sometimes it's to the wrong people at the wrong place at the wrong time. I digress. So, difference of characteristics to me, was that in that just with Monday alone, I saw that, Monica to me, I get, has been through like real life stuff. So like life has hit her hard. That is not to judge and say that people that life has not hit them hard, like, you're not a good person or great. That doesn't mean that. It just simply means that, and not even to compare, but like, you've had an easier life, or not even easier, but you didn't experience the same thing that someone else did. What I also realized though is people that have gone through some things and have their own experiences, that it's a make or break, right? So then it's a choice, and you either come out solid, or it then broke you and you're not so solid. Okay, so I don't know if you want to say you liquid. I don't know if that's cool to say, but you liquefied, whatever the case may be. But you're not solid, and I always gear toward somebody that's solid, somebody that's real. We do a lot of talk about what's real. I'm real. I'm real. I'm real. Okay, moving on. So, with that being said, so here's Brandy on the other end. She gives me, truthfully, she gives me like immature. She gives me that she hasn't, matured past a certain point. I'll just use the age 15, but that doesn't necessarily mean I mean that. But the mind space of, depending on looking forward to me, she was doing the most, really doing a lot. And I feel like it came from Ray J. Ray J, we know that he's all about the drama. And he's okay with, airing out his like drama and toxic like, scenarios and issues, because he gives me the person of, even bad press is good press. And it's like, okay, if you so choose, but that's not. I don't want to be known for nothing, nah, right? Even if I put my stuff out there, if I'm putting my stuff out there, it's for you to realize, like, okay, Benia's being vulnerable. She's being really, open about her stuff, and she's telling me like how she's working through her stuff, not just to be like, oh, this toxic thing, this and that. Like, let's cut that out. But y'all speaking too much. I ain't gonna say you speaking death upon yourself, because that's really what it is, the opposite of life is death. But let's just switch it to speak life into ourselves, over each other, um, over others, into others. I've said this before, that I don't like the phrase that is so cool to say, like, I'm dead. And that means like that you laughing. Like, I hate it. I hate it. Speaking of I hate it, another one I hate is the cool phrase to say, I hate it here. If you've been around, you've never really heard me say that. A lot of people I know, like, and people have said this around me, sure, but if you really listen to me, I refuse to say it, because to me that's saying like I hate it here. Like, I know things so much deeper to me. I can't help it, but I hate it here on this earth. I hate it here, even if it's oh no, it's talking about my house. Well, why do you hate in your house? You have a house, a roof over your head. Speak life into situations, speak life into things, speak life into yourself. You're pouring out constantly. So you have to speak life back into yourself, back into your situations, your own home, your own communities, your own families, our community as a whole, right? Our people, to others. You just have to speak life. This is the day and age. This is the time to switch up how we even speak, how we think. We have to recondition our minds, right? So back to like the verses that, with Ray J, like by him being like so just about drama. And so I feel like he like gassed Brandy up. So even that was one, right? One, I don't know, thing, one thing about it. And then with Brandy, like doing the most as far as she felt the need that, if she was singing along to Monica's songs, that Monica had to pay her respect back to her in that way. And it's like, no, I don't have to do that. if anything, I got before Monica even finally said it, she said like, well, no, I was respecting you. I was giving you your moment. I let you have your moment. That's it. Real recognize real. Like respect, respect, respect. That's it. Period. And so like just because that's how you chose, you decided. So as in Brandy decided to sing along to some of Monica's song, like feeling as though that's her paying homage or showing her respect to, Monica's work. That's fine. But that doesn't mean that's how Monica had to, pay her respect back. Like if anything, she sung along to it, like to herself. She vibed to it. She grooved, but she didn't pick up the mic and sing over her song when she knew that people were tuning in to hear hits. Like, and not even saying that Brandy was wrong, but Brandy was wrong in as far as expecting. Hear this. I'm gonna get to this later. Expecting Monica to return the favor in the exact same fashion in which she dished it out. I don't have to do that. If anything, we want to talk about, we can definitely get into this later because I definitely have this topic written down for some point in some time. But when we talk about love languages, that is so important about like when we say relationships in general, friendships. Love your friend in the way that they receive and perceive love. Don't love your friend, the way that you believe or the only way that you know how to love. Then that means that you need to work on yourself. You need to probably break away from that friend, right? And if they're real friendship and all that, and if it's really meant to be in different levels and different, stages and phases and seasons in life, then you'll come back together. So that's friendships, that's family. Okay. No matter what title they hold in your life, people are not permanent in your life. We know that death is real. So, I mean, if you need an example of how life is not so permanent now, eternal life, that's a different story. But that's really about getting your life in order so that way you have eternal life. But well, baby steps, we'll get there. So like I said, friendships, family, of course, y'all situationships and I want to say situationships and companionships and relationships and like as far as dating and all, like people are not permanent. And I'm saying it out loud to myself to remind myself because I've done a lot of work to make sure that I believe that, I receive that, and believe that for myself. That's when we talk about insecurity versus security, right? So if I'm Brandy and I feel like, well, you have to sing along with me, that come on, pick up the mic, like you almost bullying me in a sense as Monica, like how insecure are like come on now, just be solid in the fact that you like Brandy, I give it to her. She got vocals, like y'all breaking down the riffs and this and that. It was broken down to me yesterday. I'm getting all that. I look, I can't sing, but I think I can sing. So, I ain't whatever. But kudos, and I will never take that away from Brandy. If anything, the huge takeaway she has for me that from that night is the mere fact that she mentioned like it was I can't even remember which song, but she was like singing along to and grooving to her own song, and she was like, yes, she was shady. She dropped quite a few unnecessary shady statements and all that, but whatever. Like it was like a little gnat, like annoying, but all right, whatever. Like we had a picnic, they're gonna come around. Thanks, Brandy. But what she does definitely get from me is when, like I said, she was singing along to some song and was like, this full auto tune. Sis, you got that. You definitely hitting some things in there. Yeah, you got that, baby. You got that. But okay, but it's personality, it's character for me, right? So Monica being solid the entire night, and truthfully, which is funny, I actually got from the night. I was like, isn't Monica older than Brandy? Which I didn't even look it up. I'll be honest. But I believe it might be the other way around. So that really shows you like immaturity, as a level. And even if they're the same age, they're around the same age, the point being. But the fact that it could be, a takeaway from me, just I can't help naturally, observe human behavior. I can't help that, right? And so whatever. So it's like I'm getting like is Monica okay? She tired. I'm old. I'm sitting here for 3 hours, but I'm pushing it. Thank God it was that little break in the middle songs that weren't really. Brandy's older. Thank you. I knew it. Brandy's older. Exactly. So that's what I was told yesterday. So I just want to make sure that was accurate. So by her being older, what does that say? Like that's why we have to get out of these stigmas of by age, by a certain age, this person should be. We got to get out of the shoulda, woulda, couldas, or really just the shouldas. The wouldas, okay, couldas, but the shouldas, baby, I'm speaking from experience. I suffered from a huge case of shouldas. shouldas, as in certain people should love you, certain people should, have your back and this and that. But okay, like Ari. um and it really, it gets to a place of how, we wanted to, while I was fussing. I know, Josh, it's okay, I get it, I totally respect that you disagree. But it's what I get. It's what I got and what I've always really gotten from Brandy. Just the immaturity. Again, she has the talent. That's without question. Um, okay, Monica could have given more, I guess, as far as what though. I believe that it was, and then I guess it goes back to like purpose of the verses. So I know some of them have been like, some people have like performed their own songs and all that, but she was really there. I really was able to appreciate that. Like at the end of it, even though I have all this to say, I still feel like everything was put out on the table. Like I was full. Like hands down, I didn't walk away from it like, come on, girl. Like from either one of them, I appreciate it. I wasn't so turned off by Brandy's, poems. Okay, some people were. I get it. And people choose to, make like like a, I don't know, like a clash and discrepancy, and it just wasn't. Thank you, Desiree. That's not exactly. That's how I feel. Like she gave what she was supposed to, because she sang along to some of her songs. She appreciated and vibed out to Brandy's songs. And again, it was about it was again for me. It was about characteristics, personality at the end of the day. Because I took it as like, well, Monica's probably tired too. She got more kids. Like she tired. Okay, that's why I was like, it's Monica. It's fine. I get it. It's totally okay. I know. I get it. I am so used to having an unpopular opinion, y'all. It's totally okay. And I appreciate the disagreements. Like I do. I respect them like on so many levels. But that is, y'all see, just that alone, like it's okay. And it's plenty more people out here to disagree with me. But I can respect it though. It doesn't have to be like a no, because I need to be right and all that. The issue is that people celebrate fake. That is really, really, really our issue. And more, what truly, even what trumps that is the fact that people should not be. And I know I just said we suffer from shouldas, so I know it's still a work in progress for me. But people should not be as offended as they are, right? Easily offended as they are, and so like it's like I don't know why we choose to be offended by things that would really don't make us poop. Like what other people eat don't make us poop, and vice versa. So you can have an opinion, you can care, but excuse me, that even goes to, so sorry, y'all. I'm going through it today, but that goes deeper, and I'm gonna definitely touch on this later because I got plenty to say about this. But when we talk about canceling something, it's just that if it's a person, and um I didn't mean the people that disagree. I meant just in general, as far as like the arguments, like literal arguments that are happening out here also in the social media world between like the Brandy and Monica fans. It wasn't for that. If anything, it should have been. Could y'all imagine if it was a night full of leading up to, during, and now even after, like a night full of everybody coming together. So all Brandy fans, all Monica fans to come together and just celebrate this beautiful Black music that has come and that has existed and been here over time from two beautiful Black women, like starting at a young age. If we just stuck there, but there's no argument there. Nobody is like promoting that and pushing that. Everybody wants to say, oh, I choose Brandy, I choose Monica, when I refuse to choose either. Again, all I really, focused on was, were the characteristics and the personalities, but that's it. And I'm just, bringing light to my opinion about them. But it's like we have to, again, so about like us being so easily offended, like when y'all, R. Kelly is canceled. Okay, if I see it one more time, why is it a question? And I hear, I ain't gonna say I hear the arguments of what people do, who they are, but to me, it's a personality that can turn me on or off. Like I could think I like you just off like your, I don't know, your physical, features. And then as soon as you open your mouth and I realize who you think you are, that it doesn't really add up to who you really are. Ugh. Like, yuckies. Like, no, thank you. Ew, don't touch me. Ew, you got cooties. Like, ew. like hate it. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like so many people, tuned in, like you said, like, thank you, Josh. Like so many people tuned in. And if we just stayed there, if we stayed there and how it could have been, all it could have, the focus, like Sherry said, the focus, if that was the focus for as many people that tuned in, it would change our world as we know it right now drastically, and maybe physically, maybe not necessarily, but it would have showed something. So it's like when we wanted to talk about them, when even they kept, shouting out the numbers of how many viewers and how many people were tuned in, if that was the same amount of people that decided to be like, man, I ain't worried about no negativity, because I didn't even like the press, like leading up to it. Who y'all got? I get it. Even for the media, like it keeps a healthy thing, but leave it at the healthy part. Once it's like we take that inch and just ran 6 miles with it. Like, y'all, it's not about pinning against nobody. Like, prime example, one of my best friends is on here, Josh, right? We've known each other since middle school, since we were 11, 10, 11, something like that. We're 30 this year. Okay. He has always chosen Brandy, right? I've always had Monica. So I'm not being biased in what I'm saying. I'm really just speaking from my observation, from a very non-biased and unbiased opinion and, perspective. But being truthful, right? So if we ever like had the conversation, I'll be like, oh, I got Monica, da, da, da. But I always Siri trying to she's trying to interrupt me now. No, Siri. So but like it's okay to make a choice, to make a stand and to stay right there. But the issue is that we choose, because I talked about this about decisions, we choose to partake in corporate ignorance every time, every time. And I get that it's not necessarily that you have to accept what you don't like or what you don't want. It is, well, to a certain extent, because as far as if it's something out in the world, like you don't really like me, I have had to accept that. Hey, y'all just want to keep making a fight, keep making it an argument about it. Okay, but to that extent. But other than that, like, do you have to, if you're not a Brandy fan and you choose Monica, then you don't have to listen to Brandy's music, in which I still think. Okay, that was them doing the thing. Scared my whole life, y'all. I mean it. Um, jumped out of my skin. Ooh, child. But like that was just what it was. Like, and even still, I think it's crazy if that you choose not to, like, if you don't like her music, I still think it's crazy because it's good music, or vice versa. Like, it's either one. So it just really is what it is. But us moving on. So when I was talking about earlier about like speaking life, right, and to stop speaking death over ourselves, because again, it's just the opposite. We just got to call it out what it is. So first and foremost, it goes back to being thankful and being grateful, right? So like even with the, the Brandy and Monica versus, I'm just grateful to be amongst the numbers. Like that's where I was. If we kept a thankful spirit like that, like it's just very simple of, I'm just grateful to be a living witness right now. I'll go out as far on a limb and say, thankful for Rona. Because at least for this part, now, y'all ain't saying everything. Okay. But still, I keep a grateful and thankful spirit just because Rona, I mean, we don't know. I doubt if Versus would have come about, it would have been such this huge thing because, what it still would have been about getting to physical, concerts and gatherings and things like that to get, these huge artists together. And I forget how long they said that they had been in the room together, I believe, or had been trying to get into a room together. It had been a very long time to get these two, Black women that, have a lot of fan base behind each of them, individually and then together. Oh my Lord, like a huge thing. So I'm grateful. Like it just changes everything around you when you keep a thankful and grateful spirit. Because again, I could be sitting here complaining and really could have. Now, am I gonna say they'll never cross your mind? For 5 seconds, I was like, "Yep, I guess I can't do the show tonight. Like, can't do that. I'm finna be in the dark. I got to figure all this out, and this and the third is one house supposed to be. I was actually happy about this show, and you know, like about every show, but you know, sometimes, right? One of the things that you have to do, just whatever. And so I feel like exactly people have to accept that's it. Ooh, leave a call. Hello. You know, like about every show, but you know, sometimes, right? One of the things that you have to do, just whatever. And so hello. I feel like hi.
Hi, I was trying to join the. Hello.
Yes, I can hear you.
Is this the B mix?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Hello. I'm trying to. Hi, I was trying to join the. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you turn the show down for me? That's the only thing. I hear myself talking.
Oh, okay. Let me turn it down. It's Jasmine.
Hi, Jazz.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good, good. Girl, don't be trying to hear yourself. It's like what we were calling.
I am trying to hear myself. Wait, who's this?
Say it again.
Is this Benia?
Yes, it's Jazz. It's Benia. It's Benia right here. The Big for Radio.
I was trying to listen to the daggone thing, and it was like a delay on me watching it. So I'm like waiting for you to answer.
It's okay.
Girl, I wanted to comment on the Brandy versus Monica thing, and then also about the putting light into other people.
Okay.
So I absolutely agree with you on the spreading light, and I think that something that we as people, I don't know, maybe even more so more so in the female community, but I would say it's even kind of strong in the Black community to talk negatively about things that either A, we don't resonate with, or B, well, I'll just stick it with A. Things that we don't resonate with. And so, like, if it doesn't relate to us, then we put it down as to say that there's nobody else out there that it'll relate to, which is not necessarily fair.
Right.
I feel
Not
like.
fair.
And for as far as Brandy goes, you know, I do partially disagree. And it might be because I used to be a big Brandy fan, but to me, I absolutely agree with the personalities. Like, they clearly have two completely different personalities, where Brandy was more, you know, a little chipper, and Monica was a little bit more chill. But are you talking?
No, I'm listening to you.
Okay. So I'm looking at the screen. I keep looking at the screen. Let me close my laptop.
Don't look at the screen. It's gonna throw you off. I promise.
So yeah, Brandy. I felt like Brandy. I feel like she's just a cheerleader. Like, to me, it felt like that's the type of person she is. She's just gonna celebrate you, and it's gonna be noticed in all forms. She can't help it. And for Monica, I didn't feel any shade from her. Like, to me, like, when I saw the comments and people were like, "Oh, Monica being shady," or "Oh, Brandy being shady," I personally didn't get shadiness from either party.
Right.
I just got different personalities, and I felt like, for me, I'm a fan of both Brandy and Monica. Like, I like both of their music. Some songs I don't like from Brandy. Some songs I feel like I like more Monica songs, but I felt like I liked Brandy more just because when I was younger. I don't know why, but I liked all of Monica's songs. And one thing I did want to comment on is that I kind of didn't like that Brandy told Monica not to, like, speak a certain way because her child was there. And the only reason why I felt like that, not to say that we shouldn't respect the children, but at the same time, Monica's music, to me, has never been 100% child friendly. So it was like, just like when people talk about Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion for their WAP, to me, the music is for who it's for. And if it's not for you, then you move on. And that's it. And instead of tearing a person down because somebody could relate to that song, or else it
Exactly.
wouldn't be doing numbers, or else Monica wouldn't have done numbers. Brandy wouldn't have done numbers. But I do, when you said that Brandy was a little bit shady, I would say I think that I didn't see that because I didn't see the whole entire thing, but
Okay.
I don't think
Okay.
I even tuned in until like after 9 o'clock. But
Oh
I will
Lord,
say that she
ouch.
did say it again.
Nah, I said ouch. That hurt. You got to see the
What?
whole thing. The whole thing.
Oh yeah, yeah, I know. I forgot all about it, and I was on. I think I was on a live. I did a live
Oh,
on
okay.
the same day, and then I missed the beginning. But I do think that I did see Brandy mention that she wasn't able to put out music for a while. So
And
in
I
my
appreciated
mind,
that she
if
said
she
that.
was being shady, she could have potentially been shady towards the industry for her
Okay.
feeling like she should have been able to release. And I think that a lot of artists that come from older generations always mention that they did stuff that we now do. You know what I mean? And it's like,
Mhm.
I wouldn't necessarily consider it to be shady as much as just saying, like, we had to work 10 times harder to get what y'all get now almost a little easier. And to just maybe recognize that, like, for people to recognize that.
Yeah,
And that's
no, and I
it.
get that. I believe for that particular comment, and it's crazy because I that's not even what I took as shade, and I absolutely adore this. Like, I love how people, from the same scenario, same circumstance, people can take away, their own takeaways and their own experience. And so that part I didn't even believe was shady, even though I believe that was toward like her record label, record company, or something. Which again, at least you're able to pick up like there was shade. Period. So wherever it was intended for, it was, it
Mm-hmm.
was shade. But I know it was something to shade. It's like when, and a good point where you brought up that she, mentioned like, could you not speak that way, for my child? I get that. So that's a very good point that, the music is who it's for. And so that even could have been what, kind of shut Monica down. I'm that person. Like in a certain conversation, a certain way, like I just choose to shut down. It's probably better for everybody that I just shut myself down and mute myself at
Yeah.
that moment. But I have to get better. Just been like, oh, I'm a unmute now. Or just making sure that I'm
Mm-hmm.
calm myself before I, get back into the conversation or whatever the case may be. But when, so that, like I said, could have shut Monica down. But then when I know, like when Monica mentioned, like, yeah, it's the kick doors and something like that back in the day, which I believe Brandy brought up first, but either way. But then she was like, yeah, I was one of them. And Monica didn't even hear it. So it's like sometimes you just be so above it. Like she was like, no, what did you say? Like, what's wrong? That literally sounded like a conversation of two women on the phone. Like, wait, girl, no, really, what did you say? Like, I'm serious. Like, I'm not even being rude. Like, oh, what you say, but what did you say? So it's like, Brandy, some things she meant it as shade, and some people picked up as that, but more so it was more so that she made a lot of unnecessary comments. I believe there was a lot of unnecessary commentary from Ray J on the side, because Monica's people mostly they didn't even like really root, really, like they let the show be what it was for. And then even more
Yeah.
so at the end of it, when Brandy, was like, yeah, y'all look out for the concert, and Monica like made the face and walked off. And I know there was an issue between them, like business wise, so that could also be the issue. She was trying to entertain. Brandy was absolutely trying to entertain, but the two of them were so substantial in their industry and in their work, that you didn't need to try to entertain anything. It just happened. So for Monica, I
Yeah.
guess for people that choose Monica or Monica fans, I was entertained regardless. Monica didn't have
Yeah.
to entertain me, but Brandy felt the need to have to entertain. And if she had I think that was the part that speaks to like immaturity, because it's like just to realize who she is. I mean, aside from my
Mm-hmm.
thought of like just letting it go,
I think more.
probably should
I
come from
think
under Ray J
about.
and come from under her family and
I
let stuff go like that. That just to be prominent and confident in who she is, I don't think she would have felt the need to do that. So I think that's what that's another thing that speaks to the difference of personalities.
agree.
But again, I enjoyed the both of them. I like both their outfits.
I
I'm gonna
did
say it.
too.
I don't care.
Yeah,
Besides
and I like
Monica's
that
baggy
conversation.
pants, right?
I enjoyed the two different personalities only because it. I mean, I felt like it complemented each other, and it did make for a
Okay.
little bit more entertainment. But
Okay.
I
Okay.
do think
Yeah.
that also when you look at it through the lens of being or having that stardom, at first of all, a young age, but then
Mhm.
also to kind of fall off and then maybe she misses it, and she talks about how she's, she has a album out right now, and I think that it was more so a hunger for to be back in the light. And I
Right.
think that for
I believe that
Monica,
as well.
Monica never fully left the light to the magnitude that Brandy did. And
Respect.
so Brandy hasn't really had a song out since we were in middle school, like the early 2000s, where, I mean, Brandy hasn't. Oh, somebody else calling in?
Oh, I think so. I haven't. Oh.
Well, I'm gonna get off.
Okay, I'm sorry, Jen. Thank you for calling.
It's okay. All right,
Thank
bye.
you. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Benia. It's like, this is Joshua.
Hi, Joshua. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
I am well. Thank you.
Let her have it.
So I'm calling in. First of all, I want to say, I'm happy, and then congratulations on the show, The B Next. You're definitely doing big things. You're making me want to do YouTube again, but
Please do it. Thank you.
no problem. But of course, I'm calling in on all the topics. But Brandy versus Monica.
No. Tell me what's
First of all, it's like no, but the verses was good. I just
was.
definitely think it was. I think the whole idea of verses period is good. It came out of quarantine, but I think for Brandy versus Monica, it just brought about like how Black women can really come together and do something that's powerful. And also it brought healing, I guess, because they both were just talking about how growth, maturity, healing, how it was necessary for both of them. But also to speak on, I guess, your correlation between, if I'm not mistaken, if I'm wrong, correct me. Your correlation between, I don't want to say attitude, but personalities, and how some things shouldn't just be brought about and just let it be.
Okay.
I don't know. I feel like they both just are two different personalities. Brandy's an Aquarius. Aquarius within themselves are just really like the Aquarius I know are just weird and awkward or just have bigger personalities. And Monica was just chill. I just think that, I don't know neither one of them personally, but over the years, of course, how media is and what media portrays, I just think that Monica just needs to open up a little bit more. Like, there's nothing wrong with being open, bubbly, being yourself. I'm not saying Monica's not being herself, but I just feel like Brandy was genuinely being herself, and that's what people don't understand. It's okay to genuinely be yourself. If you're not accepting of that person, that's okay. But someone's being themselves, let them be themselves, and that's it.
Yeah. No, that's a really good point. Oh, look at that, Lord! You done said something good. My lights done came back on. Everything done just lit back up back here. If I just got brighter, I don't know if that was possible or not. But that's actually a very good point. So that way, because I really try to make sure there's a balance of, even if I don't agree with something, so there's something to say in there that you can disagree with something or how someone is, which is fine, but it still should not alter, your overall being, right? So it should not consume your thoughts, consume your feelings and emotions just because of who that person is, even if no matter who that person is to you. And so on that end, and then that, like, to speak to what you said as far as her being herself, then that's just that, and that's what I respected as. So that's where it's the respect, because it's, I respect the fact that that's just Brandy. I have my opinion about it, and I could be wrong. I really meant to say that. I always usually preface any opinion that I have, be like, I could be wrong, even though I know it's my opinion. But some opinions can be like, baby, that's wrong. That's wrong. So I still try to preface it with that. So that's an excellent point of, she was just being herself, and it's like, okay, like, people will accept it, okay. If they don't, okay, but she's gonna be her. I still believe, like, just at times in certain things, we're like, okay, like, it's a bit much, but okay. But also, I guess, because of that difference between the difference of who Brandy was versus then who Monica was, or at least how they represented themselves that night. So but I definitely appreciate that opinion. I appreciate that point a lot.
Of course, no problem. And I know you did just say it's your opinion. You can be wrong. Your opinion is never wrong. People have their opinion.
I know that to me, you know what's funny? I put that statement along with when we learn like there's no such thing as a stupid question. It's like, well, there are some. Oh, is that another call? Oh my
If there's
goodness,
another
Joe.
call, I'll let you go. But
Yes,
enjoy
thank
your night.
you.
I love you and
Love
congratulations.
you. Thank you. Hello. Uh-oh.
Hello.
Yes, there we go. Hello.
Hi, it's Sherry.
Hi, Sherry. How are
Hey,
you?
good. I'm good. I support you from a distance because you know how I've been working, but I love it. I
That's
love it. I
okay.
love it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your support. And I appreciate you working, a Black woman working. I love power to you.
Yes, yes. I'm calling in because to I'm speaking to what you were talking about as far as Monica and Brandy, the
Mm-hmm.
verses. I for one, I couldn't choose. I was never one to just say I'm gonna choose this one or choose that one. I just respect them
That's
for different things. And I said
mm-hmm.
it to someone when I was talking about it. I said it's like when you have kids and you love your kids in different ways for different things that they do and what they offer,
Mm-hmm.
or for their different personalities. You're not going to say you have a favorite, but you
Mm-hmm.
appreciate different things in each child. And that's
That's
how I
it.
feel about Brandy and Monica. I appreciate them greatly for different things they did. That night, I felt like Brandy probably, and I'm speaking from my own personal perspective. I
Mm-hmm.
felt like Brandy probably it would have been awkward had she not been doing what she was doing.
That's a
It
good
would have
point.
been like a whole lot of it would have been like a whole lot of dead air had she not been singing and doing the compliments. Like she was overcompensating, I felt like, for that dead air. Like she
Okay.
had to do all because it would have been awkward. Me
Okay.
myself, I fall victim to that, and for me,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that probably speaks to any like underlying insecurities that I might have.
Okay.
But like if
Okay.
I'm in a situation, like even if I'm sitting somewhere waiting, I would just start having like a casual conversation with somebody because the silence would just be too much. You know,
Gotcha.
I would just start doing something. I would, oh, I like your shoes, and then start talking about something just so it wouldn't be dead air. And I felt I got that from Brandy. Like she's that awkward girl. And Monica
Mm-hmm.
was like the girl that was like, all right, I'm from the hood. I'm Miss Thing. I'm this. I'm that. And Brandy was like, um, I'm awkwardly approaching
Right.
this.
Like,
And
hey,
then
that's
she
not
said,
me. Mm-hmm.
yeah, like she even like even at the point when she brought up when Monica like rushed her, like when Monica had popped her or something. Like I felt like she was just trying to like just keep the thing going, and like you said, entertainment. Now
Yeah.
I'm not one to bash Brandy or bash Monica. I love them both, but for me,
Mm-hmm.
that's what I got from it. I did feel like Monica could have been more of a team player, but I feel like she's that employee that comes in and is like, all right, I'm here to do what my job duties are, and then I'm gonna leave when I'm done. And that's really what I got from the whole thing.
Y'all have my producer like yelling at me. Y'all understand me? Because he is just it's cracking me up, but he is agreeing with so many comments that have been made throughout the night from all of the callers actually. And I appreciate each of you. And Sherry, I definitely appreciate that you made those few analogies, but definitely this last one of that employee like I resonate with that because even though I mean people flock, and I'm not boastful at all, but I'm just speaking fact. Like people flock to me, and it's okay. I think I have that spirit, and so, but I can't say that all the time. That I've been like, oh yeah, that's my friend from work. I'll be like, I'm kind of here to work, and I'm good at what I do. So what I've done has been like incorporating people and having to socialize and network and things, so that kind of worked hand in hand. But it was like I ain't really here to make friends. If it happened, that was great and beautiful. But if it didn't, yay,
Right.
like so
Exactly.
that's an excellent one. And even with the analogy of parents with children and not having not playing favoritism, because we talk about that. I mean, we will definitely get into a point of talking to the that exact point of parents playing favoritism, or some of the kids of us children feeling like they play favoritism, or whatever the case may be. But just the point of what should be. And so it's like you said, you appreciate each child for who they are, and how they are. And that's okay. And you can still have an opinion about it, like, Lord, that child gonna be, Lord, that child gonna get on somebody, and Lord, that child is. But it's like you still gotta love them, and that's it. And that's exactly what it is. So I definitely appreciate you to in the respect of the fact that we are similar in that. I appreciated both of them, and I'll even go on a limb and actually say it's because of their music, not necessarily their people. I don't see myself really like hanging out with Brandy, which is fine. I feel like she's getting on my nerves a little bit, but it's okay. But Monica, yeah, girl, what's up? We're going all right. So I appreciate your comments so much. You have no idea.
No worries, no worries. I appreciate you. Keep doing what you're doing, and kiss Sydney for me.
Lord, child, I will. I'm gonna get that thing.
You have a good night. I'm gonna tune back in.
Okay, thank you, Sherry. You too. And if you're at work, have a good night at work.
Thank you.
Now I'm ghetto because I want to hang out with Monica. Y'all can only see this chat with my producer. I'm not putting our business out there, but he definitely just called me ghetto. It's fine though. I think it works. But to finish out our last few moments with each other, first and foremost, let me pause again. I know I'm going to repeat this later, but let me pause right now to say thank you to all of my callers, all of the tuner inners. Y'all know I love saying that. I can't help that. But anyway, of anyone that is tuned in right now, anyone that's going to catch the remake, Whoa, now the replay later on, just thank you. Continue to pour in, with your comments. Again, thank you to all listeners, all watchers, all comments, all opinions. This is an open space, like not just because we're talking about Monica and Brandy, but for all reasons, for any topic that we ever have. Even if you're catching this one tonight, if you've never caught a show before, go back and check out some of the others. I'm totally okay with, and encourage you to comment and like and share, of course, but to comment on other and older shows, just with your opinion. And I really try to do my best and engage with all comments. So if it's either during the show, and or with anyone that watches the replay, that I engage later on through typing out comments too. So thank you to all callers, watchers, and listeners. And so when we are talking about being thankful, right? Because I'm driving this home, y'all. I can't help that. Like, I think so. Literally, this is the prayer that I believe I said this morning, but I've been catching myself saying this a lot recently. I have literally said, thank you, Lord, for the work that you're doing through me, to me, with me, and for me. Right. And that is, I mean, it kind of is self-explanatory, right? It says so much in so few words, that no matter what is going on, no matter what the circumstance is, the fact that we are still in this world health crisis, we are still, it's like, it's not, I don't want to say it's not letting up, but I mean, the fact that there are new cases every day, to about the racial injustice that we are experiencing and watching and observing right now, like, it is, oof, it's like literally too ridiculous. It's just beyond. And so even in this, I know it sounds crazy. I know it does. At some point, it felt crazy to say, but I am beyond that feeling, that you have to maintain a thankful and grateful spirit. It helps to change your outlook and your perspective on things. Like, it is just, thank you, Sharon. Actually, come on now. Y'all know, I told y'all right now, y'all gonna pray for me about being good at quoting scripture. That ain't my strong point right now, but y'all keep praying for me. But seriously, like, just, it absolutely helps, because if you choose to stay where you are, to meet your circumstance where it is. So if you are in a dark place, if you are in a low place, if you choose to meet your circumstance where it is, you will stay there. But if you choose, like I said, every day, everything is a choice But even in the midst of a storm, an issue, a trial, or tribulation, I know I love to say that, challenge, or anything that else that comes across your path that feels like, that doesn't feel so good. And that's, from the smallest things to the bigger things, that if you so choose to see it in a different way, right? So last week, again, we were talking about just trying to, find the positive out of everything. That's a way to do that. I'm not going to suggest you do anything without trying to help you see a way that you can do it, easily than we think we can. The issue of why we choose not to do certain things is because we believe it's bigger than us and it's, something that we can't accomplish. It's not impossible. I'm telling you that I'm a living, breathing witness of being in the midst of a storm and a circumstance and choosing to be thankful. Let me take it lighter for y'all, because apparently that's getting too dark. That's getting too heavy. So, prime example, this little storm, this little NATO, this tornado that just hit us, like, what in the world, right? All I was trying to do, right? Sorry, y'all. Like, my goddaughter is probably so mad at me that I keep ignoring her call. She keeps trying to call me my baby. I'm gotta call KK back later, y'all. So, but this tornado that decided to hit us, I really could have stayed in a place of, oh my gosh, what is this? I'm gonna be honest, because I can't help but be. I didn't know nothing about it. I didn't. All I really wanted, I worked hard today, and I really just been busting it out all week, like for, I don't know, just for a minute, really. It seems like it's back. And so today I was like, Lord, all I want is a nap. And this was like 10:30 this morning. I wanted a nap. And so finally when I got to the point, like, I can take a nap, lay down in time to get Sydney and I together, have her settled enough to get my show, get ready for my show, and then to do the show. Okay. Finally goes to lay down for a late nap. A nap nonetheless, because y'all know I'm a nap the kids. Okay. Quote me on that one. And so, child, I goes to lay down. Here goes the warning coming through. All right, all right, whatever. I can roll over. I get into a little sleep. Here go Mama Duke calling. Hey, Mom. Okay, because I'm checking. Okay, thank you, baby. Like, I'm just now thankful. Like, I really wanted to be mad. Y'all don't know me. Like, when I get into my sleepy mode, just let me sleep, Jesus. But that wasn't the case. So now, as she's talking, I'm like, oh, it's tornado. Okay, Lord. So I'm seeing I can see the trees, but okay, let's get us up. So I get little Miss Ma'am up, get her downstairs, because then now my sister done called and she's saying the same thing. Okay, let me take this seriously. Me in survival mode, Lord, like life stuff or like natural disasters, that ain't really my strong point either, Jesus. Like, not at all. I'm sitting there like about to stay on the phone. I was about to plug my phone in. I'm looking at the lightning outside. Y'all keep me lifted in prayer. Okay. All I knew was like, all right, they say we need to get downstairs. I'm not going down to no basement. I wasn't doing that. I know that's ignorant, but I wasn't. But at least let me get us down to the living room. Okay. So lay Miss Ma'am down. She got her good nap in, late nap at that. Y'all pray for me that this thing goes to bed tonight. Not this morning, not tomorrow morning, tonight. And so y'all know I really had the nerve. I cracked myself up, y'all. I literally had the nerve to say, oh, all I wanted was a nap. And I caught myself, I was like, okay, let me get over that. You're right. Like, I'm up now, whatever, get over it. And because I had really, truly bust the house down the other night, like just the entire house, every corner of it, every floor, everything, just every single room, including my room. See, the thing is, even if I've ever like gotten the room, like the house together all at once, child, it was everything but my room. I got my room together, organized rooms and just everything. All I really need to do is hit the basement, but everything in the house, like just, oh my goodness, including laundry. Every piece of clothing in that house is washed, okay? Washed, dried, folded, and hung up and put away. You hear me? Like, proud. So parents, especially single parents, come on now. Toot toot to me, because Jesus, okay? Y'all know I had the nerve to say, if this tornado knocked my good, clean, new room off, I'm going to be pissed. Like, y'all know I had the nerve to say that. A tornado. I'm worried about my room finally being clean. And I had the nerve to say something about a tornado knocking my room off, because don't nothing want me to just enjoy my new clean room. What kind of mess was that? If I had stayed in that mindset, that's the issue. Again, it's about choice. So I had to choose like to get past that. Like if anything, I really chose to laugh at myself, and that's what got me out of that mode. But that's just it. So then when I talk about, so for my, we'll stay right here with my parents, right? So when we talk about, I done cleaned this house and all of this, child, real quick, let's talk about these different stages that these babies can get into. Okay, so Sydney, let's run down some stages that she has. I'm actually reading these off the way I wrote them. So I told you earlier, sis loves the stage. She's in stage of princess dress at all times. Okay, and I mean at all times, and she has quite a few. So we're changing often throughout the day. Okay, there's also the stage of the hand hip combo. I don't like it. I don't like it, especially when she finna make a point. It's hand to the hip, and the sass comes out her throat. Ooh, ooh. We're also in the stage of are we there yet? That's fun. Like as soon as we get in the car. Mm-hmm. The new stage we've reached. When we're preparing to get back to school, y'all, I'm gonna touch on this in a minute. If Jack has 5 apples, we're in that stage, okay? I'm talking about my patience, Jesus, is being tested and tried. And I'm finna be the most patient person you have ever met in life, the way I'm being tested on patience, okay? There's also the stage of the surprise poop in the pot with no toilet paper inside. It's nasty. Okay, so it's not fun. No, it was like a good one. I went to like, oh yeah, let me go. Woo! What man came in this house and pooped and he didn't wipe himself and he left out? Like, who? Oh, that's my 3-year-old. Oh God. Okay. Also in the look at me stage, yeah. Y'all know how I said I just bust this house down? Let me talk about these last 2 stages. I bust the house down, okay? But the stage of, oh, my juice cup that you've been looking for since yesterday is behind the chair, covered in ants. I can't tell you how much I sprayed this house. Oh God. We bust it down again. You hear me? After I didn't know what you doing it for. Or the hey, let me surprise you with a mess. That you were upstairs enjoying your good, clean new room. And then you came downstairs to I'm sending good vibes to you over there dealing with Abby because honey, it's trying. Okay. Like I'm gonna let you come downstairs to a surprise of I, may or may not have accidentally unzipped the cushion to the couch pillow and just, ripped out some of the stuffing. And the cat been skiing in this faux snow. That stage. Ooh. It's taking me to a place. I got to move past this. See how my choice is to move past it? If I stay right there, I'm a beat. Okay? I refuse. So the point being that if you know, especially a young single, but if you know a parent right now of a child, it really doesn't matter the age, because I know at some point there are different stages and phases, Jesus. And y'all make sure y'all pray for them extra good tonight. Okay? Right? So, but to bring it all into perspective of to be thankful. I'm thankful that, I'm here to be able to, observe and witness, of course, these different stages, but even more so of, I'm thankful for the mindset and the mind space of how much I've worked on myself to check myself. Like, how dare I be upset with this little girl? Not only just that, she's a little girl, she's only been on this earth for 3 years, learning and growing every day. But how dare I be upset with her because I finally accomplished something, an accomplishment for me. So how dare I decide to be like, oh, I I did this. This house is clean now, so you better not mess up. In what place? Yes, yes, I'm the parent. I am the sole provider, caretaker, the everything. Cool. But how dare I? Like, Benia, get yourself together. You cannot be upset, because then I'm thankful for being able to recognize my level of peace, because yes, I was upset, especially about like the couch cushion thing. Ooh, right? But then I wasn't as upset as I know I probably could have been before, to the point where I would have probably had to stomp myself up the steps and stay away from it for 5 seconds. Like, And mind you, I'll be honest, I will definitely admit with my first child, my only child, like, as of right now, like, I have never found myself being like, oh, I'm raising my hand. Ooh, I think I tried to say the other day, like, she's gonna be I'm a punisher, and she got to sit, and I couldn't even figure it out. Now, as an auntie and a godmother, child, I knew I had a great idea. I had opinions and all that. So I'm just so grateful for progress and growth and maturity in different levels and areas and aspects across the board, throughout my lifetime. And again, overall, of the level of peace that I find myself, that yes, I was able to acknowledge my feelings, my feeling of betrayal, my feeling of hurt, for that moment, but okay. And then to be able to recognize, to check myself on, girl, like, chill out. Like, no, you don't get to be upset just because you accomplished something and it meant something to you. Obviously, it doesn't mean that much to her, and that's okay. So earlier, when we were talking about difference of personalities and characteristics, when people are different, that's okay. Let them be that. It's really for you to check on you. Y'all know I'm always bring it back home to self-reflection. It's on you to check on you. As you're checking on you, and before we get out of here, something I really wanted to share when we stay along with, talking about our babies and talking about children and preparing. Some children have gone back to school, whether it be virtually or in person or both. And I know most of the bulk are preparing to do so. Please be reminded, this is your B tip of the week. Be reminded that especially, I don't think any district is fully go, or at least any district that locally, or close enough, right, in close range, that is going back fully in person, at least initially, right? So everybody at some place or another, the students, the children are, going virtually. So it's a lot more screen time that they are, having daily. And it's now that, because we know that it shouldn't have been before, but some of us, I'll include myself, which I really am just getting to the point of giving Sydney like the tablet and all, but whatever the case may be, the screen time, even TV, whatever the case may be, something to get through the days. I get that and respect it. So it's already been an increased amount of screen time, before now, but now going to school. So we can't get away from that. That's something they have to do. So we're going to now pin all that time to be like, oh, they have to be in front of a screen. Please be reminded that if you do not already do this, please take at least 2 hours per week, 2 hours per week, and I mean consecutively, to have some time, family time, designated time, without screens, without electronics, without TV. If a meal is incorporated, be sure that an extra activity is included as well. You have activities, take back, board games, play match, cars, of course, arts and crafts, indoor camping, the old forts and stuff like that. Get it done. Bible study, that definitely will do it. Teach your kid. I mean, I had to realize, like, I have different things, of course, there's Bibles and all, but hey, I got to do that. And even take it all the way back to grab some of those old photo albums. This is the only time where phones are okay, but the old photos and old pictures and things like that, scrapbooking. Those are just some, examples of things that we can do for our children, with our children as families, no matter what their family dynamic is or size is. Do that. It's imperative to keep us going. So schedule that in there, at least 2 consecutive hours per week. Okay, that's my B tip of the week. As I close out, thank you again to all callers, listeners, and watchers. Be sure to turn on your notifications for the B Mix. Turn your notifications on so that way you see when I go live, right here on theexposedradio.com every Thursday at 8 p.m. This has been another episode of the B Mix. Always remember to be the mix that you are. I love you. I acknowledge you. I adore you. Peace. Okay. Ciao.